Aloha. Welcome to Taisei Discovers. My name is Taisei and I'm the host. I'm here with my brother Kenji in production. And we have an extremely special episode today. I know I say that all the time, but it seems for some reason to get better and better. You know, when people think Hawaii, they think of palm trees, they think of Honu, they think of sandy beaches. But there's a lot more. There's a lot of rich history, rich culture, there's rich people. And today we're going to talk about two beacons of light, two people that represent and wave the Hawaiian flag wherever they go. World travelers, accomplished individuals, inspiring people, Max Holloway and Alessa Holloway. I am so grateful, first and foremost, to be in a position where I can sit down and have these therapeutic and natural, genuine conversations with people that are living their purpose. Welcome to Taisei Discovers, Max, my man.
Oh my God.
Brother, how are you feeling right now?
I feel good. I mean, what is it? 12 weeks? 12 weeks out of the fight. So this is the first week of like buckle down time. So kind of being like, oh man, it's camp, for a fight. But other than that, I feel great, I'm breathing. I'm alive. Good to see another day, so life's good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think I saw you maybe it was probably more like a half a year ago. You came in to eat. It was lunchtime, and I didn't even know you were coming. I just happened to walk past and say, hey, brother Max. And then you told me, you said, hey, I saw you doing something with Yancy, bro. It looks pretty good, the production. Yeah. And then in my heart, I was like, oh, I wonder if Max would want to be on one day. But then you said, I kind of over the podcast stuff. So why did you agree to be on Taisei Discovers today?
When I told you that, that was like after, I believe we went in after a fight or whatever. So I kind of get over it. Like I go through these phases where we got to do so much media. I have so much media obligations inside of my contract. So I'm like, yeah, I'm over it. And then, I mean, it's you. Well, the main thing that we wanted to do, we saw the production, we saw the way you talk, and I mean, you're always a phone call away from me and my wife whenever we need dinner. So that's why we love it. I was like, bro, we gotta do something for this guy. You always, whenever you get us in at Roy's, you take good care of us. And even when I call Roy's first, no one nothing, and I'm like, bro, I'm gonna ask Taisei. Boom, and all of a sudden the time is open, So I'm like, bro, you're the man. So we gotta do something. So when we said we'd do it and you actually have both of us on, I was like, oh, even better. So that's why we're here.
Well, I appreciate it, man, because both of you have done amazing things for Hawaii and actually for yourselves, for your community. So I thought that it was only right. When thinking about an interview, a lot of times I'll go through 1,000 thoughts in my head about what we're going to talk about. And my main thing is I want it to be genuine and I want it to be impactful. I want to bring a message and I really want to bring out the true character of whoever I'm interviewing. So I was thinking metrics, stats, all the different fights that you've had. You can go on the internet and search Max Holloway and get all that information. So today, let's kind of dig into a little bit of character. So let's start first with you often speak about your Hawaiian and Samoan heritage, your family. How has your upbringing in Hawaii shaped the person that you are today, and what are some core values instilled in you?
It's a lot, It's a lot. I mean, I'm just like, not a sad story, like sob story. I'm not looking for any handouts or anything, but I'm like most people over here where we're growing up with our grandparents, My dad wasn't in my life at all, I mean, I could only remember a handful of times maybe from like the age of like, a couple times from 0 to 5 and then kind of gone after that. And then I kind of saw him around like 8 to 10. And then, my mom, she's all good. She's all better now, but everybody, drug addiction here was crazy, and she had her problems. But, I'm just grateful that I had my grandparents. I had my grandpa and grandpa, my grandma and grandpa, and they took good care of us. We always had new shoes every school year, new clothes. We had a roof over our head with hot water, hot food, So it wasn't hurting, but And I was just one of those guys. And my grandpa, he instilled in us hard work. You know, anything that we wanted to do, we always had to go do chores. I mean, I dreaded weekends because weekends was, even if we was playing like baseball at the time or whatever, if we had games at 8 o'clock, my grandpa would still wake us up at like 6 o'clock to go pull weeds. You know what I mean? Like, we got to do this before we can go do anything else. So he was just a man. You know, my grandpa was one of my heroes. My grandma was one of my heroes. And, you know, the core value to me is just family. You know what I mean? Like, I always told myself whenever I had a kid, I'm not going to ever leave his side. So, you know, when I had Rush, the biggest blessing in my life, I just wanted to make sure, like, look, like, this is what we're going to do. You know, I wanted to be the father that I didn't have. And that's one of my main core values is just as a family and just being an honest man, you know, a good man, you know, be part of the solution and not part of the problem.
Kind of changing the generational curse.
For real. Yeah, I mean, my wife, when you get her up here, she's gonna talk, but she's always telling me, you need to change this curse, change the curse. Sometimes I falter, but she's there and she's telling me, look, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Get your ass back on track. So, you know, it's with her on my side, it's I feel like I can take on the world.
She kind of balances you, huh?
Oh, I mean, she more than balanced. You know, I tell everybody all the time, you know, I wear the pants, you know, she tell me the color, so at the end of the day, that's just how it is, you know, happy wife, happy life.
Yes, and I can attest because I've seen Rush since he was a small kid. You've been coming in the restaurant for a while, and to see the young man that he's developing into is a testament for the family situation that he has. And I do want to tell you one thing, I don't know if you know, but I talked to one of his coaches last night from Kamehameha.
Oh, yeah, his club, yeah.
Or his club, yeah.
Tennis club. Yeah, tennis club. Yes.
Rush doing tennis.
He just the funny thing about that is like he was late. This guy is like he's terrible. He got good grades, great grades. He has great grades, but then there's one grade that always gave him a hard time was math, and he was getting B's or B minus, and he was like, bro, what are you doing? Everything else you get A plus, you know, A's, regular A's, and we always tell him like you gotta aim for greatness, and I mean just keep aiming, and then. Every quarter, I'd read the comments of why he's getting a B, and would just be like, he was like, Keiki do a great job at work. He just doesn't turn it in on time, or he just doesn't turn it in. I'm like, Rush, you're doing the work, and you're not turning it in, or you're not turning it in on time, and it's hurting your grade. And now he has the A in it. I'm like, bro, why couldn't you do this 3 quarters ago, you know? So, but then, you know, but long story short, he's with the tennis club because he was late to turn in his club. He wanted to do another club. He's like, oh, that's the only thing I left at. So I had to pick him because they got to do something. Yeah, I was like, you Portuguese, bro. You need to be on top of that.
Well, you know, the reason why I brought that up was because the coach, you know, he put me aside and he's like, bro, it was really great to see Max. You know, he's like, I just want to tell you something real quick. Rush. He's like, you know, at the end of the practice, when all the tennis balls is all around, and he said, I got to tell everybody for pick up the balls. And the kids, he said, Rush, bro, he's the only one that go pick up all the balls by himself. And then when other people try help, he says, I get them. That kind of vibe. So I was like, bro, I just wanted to share that with you in case you didn't know. His heart, his character at a young age. Awesome. So I would say, you know, at this point, we're talking about grandma and grandpa, and they're probably the most significant adult figures in your adolescence.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
Right on. So let's talk about traditions. Like, what are some of your favorite traditions or customs from your Hawaiian culture that you want to cherish, or you cherish and you want to pass on?
You know, just respecting the land, respecting the aina. My wife is a professional surfer, protecting the water. You know, Rush wants to be a professional surfer now, so. And it's just if you look at it, you know, I tell people all the time, if you look at it, when you look into the culture, the Hawaiian culture, you know, it's always aloha, and we want to share aloha and, you know, be respectful to people. But at the end of the day, if Hawaii had professional sports, the only 2 sports that Hawaii would have that we're known for is, you know, being warriors, and then water sports, you know, with surfing, being one swimming, and I feel like this is in my blood, you know what I mean? I feel like if this was the olden day, I would be one of the warriors, you know, with one of the chiefs, you know, fighting along inside, and you know, that's the tradition where I keep alive. and just show people and tell people like, look, even though we're warriors, you can have aloha too. You don't have to be this and that. Like, men are always talk about this right now, especially with the fighting. Like, the way to sell a fight, the way some people talk, and they get so crazy, and they sing some nasty stuff, and then after the fight, like, you're like hugging each other. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Like, there's a line you cross. Like, I'm not gonna tell you whatever. Like, if you're gonna act like this, like, stay on that side of the fence. You know what I mean? Don't play it. So, I mean, the main thing I would like to show people about the culture is aloha. Even though you might be mean to us, we can still show you aloha. But bro, if you cross that line, then the warrior side is gonna be coming out of me for sure.
Bro, I see that, and the type of respect that you display on a global scale is amazing. And I think everybody from Hawaii, when we watch you, you kind of remind us to be humble as well. A lot of us are, but the tantarans, when they see that, it's like, oh, you can be respectful and lick somebody.
Yeah.
I was thinking this on the way here, is like one of the highest forms of respect is a man that can kick your ass, right? Like in any situation, right? Yeah. If that guy can kick your ass, it's like there's a certain respect. You're not gonna make tantaran, but a guy that can kick your ass that is humble and respectful towards you, that is like one of the highest forms of respect I think a man can display. So thank you and kudos to you for that.
Oh, thank you.
All the theatrics of selling a fight, that's all part of it, right? It's just like the people want to see the tension. They want to see, the smack talking and stuff. And I like how you humbly kind of stay away from that. I always wondered, you got these wonderful wing tattoos on your back. They're different though. Can you explain the meaning?
The meaning to me was, one is gargoyle, one is angel, and then it's just almost like, balance. I mean, having balance in your life, like, what is it? What is the sign, babe?
Yin and yang.
Yeah, yin and yang, with yin and yang, and, just having balance, you can't be too much of a good thing, it kills you, like water. Say water, for example. If we drink too much water, you can drown, you can drown yourself, you can drown your organs. And then, too much of a bad thing, we know where that leads, So you got to find that happy medium, Like I said, my grandpa was like my greatest hero, and he raised me right. But if he knew I was fighting right now, he's in heaven right now. He's probably drinking one of his Bud Lights, screaming at me like, damn, kid, what the hell are you doing? I told you to become an electrician or something, So, I mean, you got to balance the good with the bad. I would be like, tell Grandpa, like, look, Gramps, like, I know it's bad that I'm fighting, but the good thing is I get to support my family and everything that you told me that you want me to do, Get a house, get a wife, take care of my children, take care of my grandkids when they do come. So at the end of the day, everything is about yin and yang, Too much of a good thing is bad, and, too much of a bad thing is terrible, so.
Absolutely. You just talked about Grandpa, and I didn't know that he passed, so rest in peace to him. I want to ask you this. What do you think happens after we die?
I don't know. There's a lot. Some people think so to reincarnate. Me and my wife was just talking about this the other day. That's so funny. We believe in different stuff. We believe in different stuff, but I can see a lot of things or why people believe certain things. But I truly believe, even with, having faith, and some people might disagree with me. Like, I just think we get reincarnated and we live different trials, this life I might be somewhat successful and, and then that, and doing good at fighting whatever. Maybe in another life I'm not successful, I'm homeless or something. So I think so we get reincarnated and we get to walk a bunch of different lives and trials just to go through it, It's like, I guess it's kind of like a matrix where you just keep walking through different ways of life.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you, man. I actually saw a spiritual channeler, shout out to Tahiti Reed, which she actually channeled one of my past lives.
Oh, sick.
So I actually got to hear about it. I actually heard about another one of my past lives from another, like a tarot card reader.
Oh, wow. So,
I mean, whether you believe it or not, I mean, it did have a lot of parallels with this current life. And I think that, I happen to believe that as well, reincarnation. So you're somebody that's known for working out and exercising your body. How does Max Holloway exercise his spirit?
So my beautiful wife, she keep me in check. I mean, we do all. I read pastures, I read scriptures, I pray and stuff. But I don't see no one really like how that is. Like that's kind of scary to me. I mean, I don't want to hear my past life, and in my past life I was some type of psychopathic killer or something. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. But all jokes aside, she keeps me grounded. She helps me. She keeps me on the path, and if she see me, wavering in something, she's like, hey, look, she bring me back down to earth and be like, look, let's reassess and let's attack and let's move forward.
Wow. Well, now that you say that, I say, what the hey? I'm just gonna kind of give you a short story of my past life, just to share with you. So, what she had told me was that I was a Caucasian man in my past life, and the first thing that made me think was being more accepting to people and their differences. Because being on Popolo Brada, half Japanese, you have certain feelings about things. And,
for sure.
And when I found out I was Caucasian, I was like, oh, it put me in a place where I felt I need to be more accepting, first and foremost. If I experienced that in my past life. I was also an oppressor. So I was part of an army unit. I was a captain of an army unit or something that was taking over Native American land.
Oh, wow.
Right? So I'm already thinking, bro, I was on the other side of oppression. So it automatically made me think bigger and try to zoom out a little bit more. Then what she told me was that you were surrounded by Native Americans and they cut off your food and water supply. And then your men died from starvation in a horrific death. And you died as well. She said, in this life, which is your next life, you are repaying your karmic debt by providing food and healing people through food. And for some reason, maybe you never knew why you were so drawn. I told you right before this, I'm making 21 years in the restaurant industry. Why am I so drawn towards it? Why do I feel like this is my purpose? Well, maybe I'm repaying some karmic debt because my men died of starvation.
But that's goosebumps, right? I mean, just this hearing that what you said, like you was a military, you was the head, right? But look at you now, you're the head, like a different type of military, but you're the head of this, and you're making sure everything is going a certain way, and everything got to run a certain way. So, I mean, look at it. It just proves, look, we're doing different type of life, and like you're almost doing the same thing, but just in a not a crazy, not a crazy way.
Well, you saw last night. You kind of saw us going to war last night.
That was. Yeah, no, you told us before we came in.
Well, anyway, so beyond the octagon, bro, what are some of the principles you live by, and what's truly important to you in life?
I mean, beyond the octagon, the number one thing is, and people saw me talk about it all the time, it's just being a good person. I mean, just be a great person. Like, what is the problem of like helping someone out or opening the door for someone, or and not you see someone in a rush, let them go in front of you. Like, why? Like, I don't know. It's just being a great human being. Like, I just want to be remembered. Like, if anybody talks about me because all this fighting, all these stats, like how you said, you can Google and you can find my name. That's all cool, what I mean? But that's all. Somebody else is gonna come. Somebody else's name is gonna take that. But at the end of the day, when someone asks, like someone who knew me or interact with me, and then they would say like, oh man, that is a good person. He rapped with me for a little bit, and all I got was like, wow, this guy just a cool dude. So that'd be the main thing, beyond the octagon, just being nice. Everybody behind the scene, UFC, you guys, whatever, anybody in front of camera, like you can put a camera in front of anybody, and they could be the most evilest person in the world, but then they can be loved in front of that camera just because they know how to talk and what to say and what button to push. But when these cameras are off and you're talking to someone one-on-one, you find out the true being and the true and what people's goals or what people's motives really are. And I want to be one of the guys to be like, he's just a good person no matter what. Cameras on, cameras off. That's just how it is. And that should be the main goal for everybody, I think. Why not be a better person in this earth? My grandpa always told me, I'm sorry, I was going back to my grandpa, but he always told me, that's, when you leave this world, you want to leave it better than when you got into this world. So that stuck with me for a long time, and that's one thing that keeps me going. Yeah.
Well, you carry yourself with a certain humility and respect. Where does that come from? Does it come from grandpa? Does it come from your upbringing?
Yeah, it comes from my upbringing. It comes from my grandpa. Like I said, like, look, I had a roof. I was never ever homeless. We had hot food. We had hot meals. I had every beginning of school year, we had one new shoe and we had to take care of it. That's it. Every year, what I mean? Like, some guys are not even blessed enough to do that. They'd get hand-me-downs. They'd do this. So I never had, the hard time is I just never have a real mom and dad, and I didn't know, until I met my wife, and she explained, like, look, you had figures, mom and dad figure with the grandma and grandpa, but they're not my mom and dad. So it's not the same. It's the same, but different. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, it was just that's what it was. I was just like always told myself like just keep working hard. If you want something in life, go and get it. And you know, and good things don't happen to good people all the time. You know, sometimes you're gonna run into a brick wall, and it's how you bounce back from, or how you pick yourself out and dust yourself off. You know, like this ain't. I was one of those kids, you know. I was one of those guys that, like, I was just pissed off at the world. You know what I mean? Because like whenever something came to Waianae, I swear to God, like anything happened in Waianae, you know, like I always make a joke. I'd be like, anything news is just bad. You know what I mean? And then I would tell people like, bro, like some man stepped on a cockroach in Waianae, they freaking make it frontline news. That's just how I feel. Because I had this chip on my shoulder. I was like, bro, Waianae against the world, Waianae this. And then when I actually left Waianae, you know, we started traveling the world because I was able to fight or whatever. I'd be like, holy shit, it's not Waianae. It's me. It's the influence that we influence from people who's in this crabs in the bucket kind of thing and being like pulling each other down. We're the guys, you know, like it's just funny, you know. It's just crazy. You go all over the world and you just think like I saw like we went to Philippines one time and I saw a family of like we got homeless here, right? You know, but the weather is like whatever intense. Some guys is not even homeless. They just cannot afford a house, so they're kind of houseless, you know. So they kind of figuring it out on the beach, whatever. Like in the Philippines, I was stuck in like this 3-hour traffic. Like we like maybe like every 2 minutes you move an inch. It was ridiculous. And it was underneath a bridge. And I remember seeing this family with maybe like 10-year-old kid, 5-year-old kid, and one infant. Maybe the kid was like not even 1 year old. And I was tripping out. I was like, holy, like this is poverty. Like this is crazy. This is the first time I ever saw that, you know. And I'm sure in the States we have things like this, but in the Philippines it was the first time I ever saw that. And I was like, man, this is insane. Like I'm over here like complaining about my life and feeling bad for me in here, and then look at these people. Look what they got to go through. So at the end of the day, I'm just like, bro, it could be so much worse, bro. So make do with what you got.
So traveling, actually, for a Waianae boy, for travel, the way that you travel, you've seen so many different cultures and everything. How has that helped shape Max and his character?
A lot, you know. Like I said, we got to go everywhere. Philippines, you know, Thailand, like, you know, third world countries, and then Dubai. I got to go, Dubai, rich countries, and it's insane, man. I mean, it changed. Like, you think I travel a lot? Wait till you get her going. She fill up a couple passports in her time. I still never fill up one. So at the end of the day, but
what's the reception you get when you go to other countries?
It's crazy. You know what I mean? Like you know, like. Here, people see me all the time, so it's so cool. So it's just normal. It's like, and everybody here is cousins. You know what I mean? Cousins, aunties, uncles. So it's like, what's up? Like you shake people's hands, like you know everybody. You know. There, it's just like, oh my gosh, Max. Like it's like they're crazy. You know. Like I always think like, oh, I don't think too much of myself. I don't like to, you know, in that way. But then when you go there, I'm like, oh shit. This guy's like super fans, you know.
Is it challenging when you just want to go to the market and everyone runs up to you?
I mean, not really, you know, because at the end of the day, it could be, I could not be doing my job right, and nobody coming at the market coming up to me.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's a blessing, you know. Sometimes when we're at dinner or something, and maybe somebody come up and ask for a picture when I'm eating, it's kind of frustrating. It is what it is, but like that means, but I keep telling myself like. That means I'm doing something right. You know what I mean? Like my wife always tell me all the time, like, hey, look, these guys could not be coming up to you, or the time coming up where people might not ever ask for your photo. So you better be grateful. So I always keep that in mind, because at the end of the day, that just means I'm doing my job. True. You know what I mean? I'm doing the right thing. That's why these guys want a picture, or these guys want to talk, or these guys want a handshake or a hug. You know. So at the end of the day, it's just
it comes with it.
Yeah, that's what it is. I knew what I signed up for. Yeah. You know, I'm not gonna sign up for, you know, say everybody can relate to play football or whatever. Like, right? I'm not gonna sign up for football and think I'm not gonna get tackled. You know, unless you're a kicker. You know. Yeah. So at the end of the day, you know, it comes with the territory.
Right on. Okay, so you know we've kind of covered some amazing things so far, but let's talk about family. Let's talk about what being a father to Rush means to you. What's your favorite part about being his father?
Just being his dad, you know, I mean, my favorite thing is just You know, the way he looked at me, the way he hugged me, every day after school. You know what I mean? That guy always. The first thing I pick him up from the bus stop, like, "What's up, Dad? How's your day?" You know what I mean? So I look forward to those times. You know what I mean? Or every time before he goes to sleep, he makes sure to come and tell me and my wife good night. You know, kiss us, hug us. So at the end of the day, the best thing about being his dad is just being his dad. You know what I mean? Him being proud and like him telling people that I'm his dad, I'm his father, and that makes me proud because like I never have no dad, so I always wanted to did something special for my kid, you know, and be able to feel that and have that connection, have that bond with him. It's just awesome, you know, and I love being his father.
Yeah, well, we can see that, and I can see the love. You know, being divorced and going through different chapters in life. Now you're with Alessa, and she's now taking the role of a stepmom to Rush. What were there any challenges through that process?
No, I mean, you know, my wife made it easy. She made it easy. The crazy thing is, you know, like I see a bunch of people, and I'm not, you know, no ill will to no one, but I see kind of people when they get a new partner, and then they kind of try to push the new partner on top of their kid, and you know, I'm not. You know, I don't feel no type of way, but every time it's like, come on, you can't push nothing on this kid. You know what I mean? They're gonna push back against it, and they might resent stuff. You know, with Rush, the interesting thing is when she came, when my wife came in, Alessa came in, and she was never a mom. She don't have no kids. She don't know what it is, but she just jumped right in head first and did it, and she made Rush feel so loved. This kid, how old is Rush? Eight, right? When 8 years old? I think it's 7. 7? She made him feel so loved when he is 7 years old now. 7 years old. Let that sink in. He came up to me and he's like, "Dad, can I call Auntie Alessa mom?" And that was insane, you know. That was crazy. So he came up to me and said, "Dad."
He asked you.
Yeah, he asked me. He pulled me on the side. He's like, "Dad, this is a 7-year-old kid." He's like, "Look, Dad, can I call Auntie Alessa mom?" And I was like, "But why are you asking me? If you like call her mom, you call her mom. You can ask her if she feel comfortable. I don't know, but I have no problem. If I didn't want to feel like I was pushing him to say it. He came out. He asked me. I told him, you call her whatever. Yeah, call her. Go ask her. And then he goes over there. He asks her, and he calls her mom now. You know, like this is not stepmom or anything. He straight calling mom. Wherever we go, he tells everybody, this is my mother, this is my mom. So like for him to take a liking to someone who I married, who I made my wife, was just, I mean, he did that before that, you know. So I knew she was the one. When he asked me, I was like, wow, we gotta marry this girl. I can't let her get away. You know what I mean? Before she really finds out how crazy I am. You know what I mean? So, and at the end of the day, he's my biggest blessing, man, for sure. And to have her, and for her to take care of it and love him like you know, she loves him like that's his own. He's his own. You know, she's the one always on top of me. Like everybody see what I do. Everybody see, oh yeah, Max is such a good father, bro. Every strong man, there's a stronger woman behind her, and she makes sure, you know. You know, that we're on the Blessed Express, and she's the conductor. I'm just chilling. I'm putting the coal in. I got to do the hard work. You know, she's telling me everything. So at the end of the day, it's amazing, man. It always comes to my nickname, man. I'm just blessed.
And you definitely glow when you talk about her. And anytime I see that, especially in a man that's not afraid to, talk about his emotions when it comes to his queen. That's something that I respect big time. What's your favorite part about Alessa?
She tough. That's my favorite part. She's tough, you know what I mean? Like a fifth.
I seen her choke you out in one video.
Yeah. She's kind of mean. She's kind of mean, but she's
has
tough.
She ever made you tap?
Oh, for sure. She's kind of mean, you know, and not many people know her dad taught her boxing.
Okay.
So like, cause you know, like it was surfing. you know, somebody grab you with, hey, you F, we meet on the sand. So the dad got her ready, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And all her brothers ready. So that she can fight. She can actually fight. Everybody always trip out and be like, when I'm holding mitts, I have videos of her hitting mitts with me, and they're like, oh, she's so good. Wow, yeah, Max is a great teacher. No, that's not me. That's her dad. Them. I just kind of like, I'm just keeping it sharp. You know what I mean? Her dad taught her everything, but bro, she gets down. You know, like how some, you know, why not? Some people crazy, you know what I mean? And it is crazy, and they think they know how to fight, you know, and it's insane. But she's one of them. She crazy, and she know how to fight. You know, she's at.
What's her best shot?
Bro, she getting mean right hand. You know what I mean, and right hook, and then she getting mean straight left. I mean, she getting stiff straight left. She pretty. I mean, the surfing helps too with paddling, you know.
Goofy too, huh?
Yeah. She's southpaw, so it's not on why not left hook, check hook. It's a right check hook for I guess she's from Macaw, so we can say Macaw check hook since she's southpaw.
Well, let's just hope she never knocks you out, bro.
Nah,
you never do anything to make her want to.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
So tell me this, bro. You're 33.
Yes,
33.
Yes, turned 34 at the end of the year.
Okay, so you're still fairly young, but you know, and the clock is ticking. What are some things that you're still learning about yourself?
That I need to be more emotionally open.
Yes,
that's one thing. My wife, she always tell me like, you're not emotionally open, you know, because I don't, because like you know, growing up with no dad, like and. You know, mom kind of in and out. Mom was always there, but not, you know. And with our grandparents, and then the household that I lived in, we always had, you know what I mean? It was a grandpa's house, you know, and the grandparents' house. So we always had like cousins over and you know, like a lot of people over. Maybe like, you know, more than six of us all the time in there. So like, this emotionally, I just never really understood anything emotionally. It was either like this side or this side. It's like, you know, extremes. Like right or wrong. Yeah, like it was extreme. It's like she opens up to be like, no, look, sometimes you can kind of like, you know, be soft, and she helps me with that with Rush, you know what I mean? Because like Rush is different from me. And I grew up with, he's the only child, you know, single child. We're not really around cousins, and when they are, it's here and there. But like I said, we had 6 of us, so we'd fight all the time. We was tough, you know what I mean? You either right or you wrong, you know what I mean? So she always tried to help me with be like, look, you cannot. It's not this or this. Like there is middle ground. You need to find it. So
emotional awareness.
Yes, that's the word. That's exactly it. I have no emotional awareness. I cannot. I guess the right thing would be I couldn't read a room. I'd be like, I'd be joking around, whatever, and then she'd tell me after, like, hey, you're not supposed to be joking around like that over there. I was like, what? I thought it went good, you know, but because she was, nah, you lucky who we are. Guy's not gonna tell you nothing. I'm like, oh man, I feel bad after that, you know.
Well, that's one of the things that's that I think people have grown to like about you is that, you know, you're a little whimsical and you're lighthearted, and you know that type of energy, and I think you really bring lightness to the room. Yeah. Yeah,
tried to.
Try to. Well, good. You have a great effort. How many fights you got left, man?
How many fights? I mean, it's up to her. I mean, I would like to fight. I'm like, as long as, to me, my fighting career is gonna go as long as I can still compete with the top echelon. You know, when I get to the point where, you know, that I'm not competing with the top guys, and it kind of just looks like I'm barely hanging in there with guys who's not top and like mid guys, then it's like, bro, you need to go. So. It could be from anywhere, you know, as long as I can keep my body healthy. I mean, ideally, maybe, if I could tell you right now, I think I'd have like 2 more years, so maybe like four fights. 4 fights, maybe 5 fights, 2-3 more years, but we'll see what happens. Anything change, you know.
Absolutely. Like maybe Onara Keiki or something. You know,
maybe.
We'll see. So where would you think that you'd be in 5 years? Where would you like to be in 5 years from now?
5 years from now, I'd like to be happy, chilling, enjoying life, probably 20 pounds more heavier than you see me now. You know, probably yoked, a little bit bigger. You know what I mean? Just a muscle man, so enjoying food. Maybe go Roy's more than once a month or once every 5 months. You know, just eat really good food. But we see what happens. You know, 5 years from now, just enjoying life. You know, being able to kick it. You know, enjoy. I mean, 5 years from now is like almost around the time Rush graduating high school. So being around for that, being healthy, and just being good. You know, maybe me and her dream, mine and my wife's dream is like we want to have a spot in Japan. You know what I mean? So live Japan after a year and then come back to Hawaii. So maybe within the 5 years we have that. So that'd be the goal. Be able to not need to work after I'm done fighting would be amazing. So trying to make some plans, putting some plans in motion to get that done so I can just chill when I'm over it.
Absolutely. Respect. Okay, so, lastly, UFC 318 on July 19th. This was just announced, the trilogy bout with Dustin Poirier, a wonderful man. Another man I think that displays ultimate character.
Oh, yeah. He's a man.
How do you see this one playing out?
I mean, I'm 0-2 against him. You know what I mean? And then Hawaii is 3. He's 0-3 against him because Jans fought him too. So, yeah, he fought Jans in Louisiana, actually. I kind of just got told that from one of our coaches. So I was like, man, we got to get this back, bro. Hawaii got to get one, bro.
Yes.
Hawaii got to get one.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it's the BMF title, and I keep hearing people say if he wins, then they take the title away and they retire the title. So I'm like, bro, this ain't happening.
It's your title.
Yeah, this ain't happening yet. So at the end of the day, I'm good friends with Korean Zombie. I retired one legend. You know what I mean? So hopefully we can keep the ball rolling on retirements and I can get this one.
Awesome. Thank you, Max. Kenji, you got a question for Max?
Yep. So, Max, I heard you also in an interview say that your favorite or most memorable fight was when you went down to Brazil and beat Aldo for the second time. Mm-hmm. And so I think that puts a lot of emphasis on the role that the environment plays in a sports match like this one. Mm-hmm. So for you, being from Hawaii, I know there's a lot of controversy about not having a UFC match here in Hawaii, but for you personally, what is the most memorable sports memory tied to Hawaii for you?
For me, tied to Hawaii, would have to be the Cole Brennan or the Timmy Chang eras. Ooh. You know what I mean? That's when how old was I? I think I was in like 7th, 8th grade around that time. I mean, Cole Brennan's one, it was like, you remember the undefeated?
Yeah.
They went the undefeated year, yeah? So it was just lights out, bro. And he was throwing lights out. He was throwing balls. He had Devon Best, right? Best was one of his wide receivers, right?
Devon Best.
And they was just lights out, bro. That's the guys. When you talk about Hawaii, what is Hawaii sports? What is the biggest thing? I think they was the biggest. They was selling out the stadium.
Yeah.
55,000 people, bro. They were selling out the stadium, and then our hopes and dreams got crushed when we went to the Sugar Bowl. Was it Sugar Bowl?
I remember that.
I know, I was so sad, but bro, they did their thing in Hawaii. So that's the number one thing. Cole Brennan was the man, you know what I mean? He used to sling that ball, and then Devon Best was just playing lights out, man. It was that for me, that time. I think I was 8th grade at that time. I forget what year it was. 2004, right?
I just graduated, I think, but I remember that era.
Yeah, that was
so for you, that's the pinnacle.
That is the pinnacle of sport. I can't even think of nothing else.
That's so humble of Max, because I feel like you go ask 9 out of 10 people would probably pick one of your epic fights as that too. So I mean,
but like Hawaii, you know.
Hawaii. We're people from Hawaii. Being that you're talking football, I want to shout out McKenzie Milton, the UCF Knights.
Oh yeah,
because he went 2 seasons undefeated over there, representing Hawaii.
Bro.
That's crazy.
And
then he got injured. Same time Tua got drafted.
Yeah.
And then I think he went around to a couple different colleges, but he's back at UCF right now as
being the coach.
Yeah, as the coach.
Yeah.
So McKenzie Milton, when you get back, we'll talk Starry as well. That's one of my dear friends as well.
Yeah, he's the man, bro. He's cool. We got to. I got that dinner with him after his injury. We was out in Florida. That's why. Oh, okay. And we got to have dinner with him. So we got to go. Nice guy, nice kid. One injury, you know what I mean, just changed the whole outcomes of life, bro. He was gonna be the next Drew Brees. Everybody was saying that's what they was comparing him to, you know. And one guy of going like, bro, you're a DB, and he's not like a huge. Like I could understand if McKenzie was this big Cam Newton running at you quarterback, Big Ben, bro. This guy's the same size as you, bro. Just go up and up with him. And I mean, why are you diving so low? That was just ridiculous. That's sad to see, though.
Unfortunate, but you know what? Also part of the journey that McKenzie's on, and look at him now. He's doing well.
Yeah, smashing.
Yeah. All right, I guess it's time.
My wife's turn.
Oh, we all got the black shirt memo. Shout out to Max as well for this shirt, man. He gave this to me years and years ago, and I never wore it. because you don't wear something like this. You frame something like this, but I felt like this is perfect for today. So tell me this, Alessa. Alessa.
Yes.
Beautiful. Okay. All right. So how are you feeling today?
I feel good. Yesterday was Mother's Day. Felt very special. But my husband always says that every day's Mother's Day, so I'm going to keep that, accountable for today.
Well, he probably treats you like every day is Mother's Day, as a queen should feel,
Mm-hmm.
So what were your thoughts? At first I was like, Max, I want to interview you. But then I thought about it and I was like, I don't want to take the same angle. I want to get a more emotional side of Max and maybe even bring you into the fold because you are somebody very respected. What were your thoughts when Max asked you to be on Taisei Discovers?
Well, like Max said, first of all, it's you. Like I when I met you like five years ago now, 5 years. I just thought you were really warming and nice, and that's like the thing about Hawaii. You run into some really good people. So I'm like, why not? Like every time we have conversations too, you can just tell that there's like a lot more. And when Max said, "Oh yeah, let's do this with Taisei," I was like, that's easy. So let's do it. Yeah.
Awesome. I've been doing some research on both of you, and I watched a couple of your interviews as well. You're super well spoken, so I knew this was going to go amazing. So, let's talk about you and your career. You're currently a professional surfer. So how's that going? Where are you now?
Well, right now I would say I am retired from competitive surfing. I don't think I want to go back. But in terms of professional surfing, I'm still creating content. So we call it free surfing, which is like the best way you can go as a professional surfer, I think, personally. So it's been great. Me and my husband, we ride for Dark Sport, and, they're such a great... they've been one of the, like, a really cool thing for me and Max. This is our first sponsorship together. And they really embrace... we're on the Dark Sports Ohana. So it's like, they really want that ohana and that togetherness. And, just being from Hawaii, we have that grit, that toughness. So just being part of a company and still, getting to, like, do what I love and represent a company like that with my husband is pretty amazing. So right now, I would say I'm, like, in the best place in my surfing career so far. So that's great.
So there's still a little bit of modeling?
Yeah. I mean, not so modelly, more just, like a lifestyle, which is, again, the easiest way. Yeah.
Well, let's talk a little bit about some of your memories surfing, because you started when you were like Keiki, Grom.
I was
3, 4.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So living a life at the beach, being immersed in the surfing world. I know surfing has taken you all around the world, and Max was saying that your passports are crazy with the stamps. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about some of your experiences outside. What is your favorite surf break outside of Hawaii?
My favorite surf break outside of Hawaii, there's 2 places. One is Fiji Cloud Break. I don't know if you guys heard of Cloud Break. It's crazy though. But I'm a goofy footer. I'm a left. There's not a lot of lefts in the world, especially on the world tour. There was a lot of rights that we had to surf. But they did have one break, and it's called Cloud Break in Fiji. It's like you go to this island. It's called Tavarua. It's really cool. Oh, sorry. You go to this island in Tavarua, and then you have to take a boat out to the middle of the sea, and then you're just like on this shallow reef, and it's like this huge almond left. So that means like a barrel that's just so tight. But it's like one of the most craziest, scariest waves I've ever surfed. It's amazing though, because it's just so raw, and it really puts you like on the edge. And I like that feeling of
Adrenaline.
surfing. Love it. That and Teogu. That's another left.
Oh,
and
okay.
Tahiti, yeah.
That's a heavy wave.
They're both really heavy.
Okay.
Yes. Tahiti would be my second one.
So you got shacked in Chopu.
Yes, I did. And I also got the worst poundings of my life.
So you've probably teetered on the edge of life and death, huh? Many a times.
Yeah. Yes. Definitely, for sure. Even on the small days. Like surfing is one of those sports where you don't know what's going to happen. It's not like when you play baseball or basketball, the foundation's always the same. Surfing, it's like you're in Mother Nature's, like,
at the mercy of Mother Nature.
Yes, at the mercy of Mother Nature. Like she can either be nice to you or, maybe humble you today. Or honestly, it's one of those things about surfing that I love. Just being in the ocean, you never really know what you're going to get. can either be like a great, amazing experience or like one of the most humbling experience you'll get at the end of that session.
So surfing actually kind of like shapes character too.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah?
Yes.
And I mean, you have to be respectful, especially in Hawaii, if you have Hawaii breaks. What's your favorite Hawaii break?
I have two. Makaha, that's my home break. You can't. And then Kewalu, that's my second home break.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a left Kewalu's in town and then a right at Makaha. So I get the best of both worlds.
Nice. So what would you say was your most memorable wave?
My most memorable wave was actually during an event, and it was on Maui at Honolulu Bay. It was during a semifinals against Savannah Lima. She's Brazilian, one of the best surfers from Brazil, I think. But it was like 6-7 feet. Like if you guys ever look up Honolulu Bay, it's an amazing right, and it's rare to get it. You know, even during an event where you're with another person, but it was just perfect. And I just remember taking off and just huge wall was just right in front of me, and I was like, this is crazy to have an opportunity to just do like a bunch of backside turns, but like on a world stage where everybody's watching, your family. So just that alone was like such a cool experience, and being in such a powerful place like Honolulu, it's different, you know? Yeah.
Is that something I can find online?
Oh, for sure.
Right?
I think so. I think so. 100%. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, for sure.
Why? Because I want to see that too, and maybe we actually even bring it up while you're talking about
definitely. I think it's on there, yeah.
it. So above 30 years old.
31.
31 years old.
Yes.
31 years young. How do you maintain your physical at this age? Because it's a little bit harder than when we were 20s, right? I just made 41, and like I feel it. So do you still have a workout regime? Right?
Yes, I do. At 31, I feel for anyone, it's important to stay active, stay fit, and it doesn't have to be so. I think it's more of like creating a routine that's more of a lifestyle. So it's not just the working out part, but it's definitely the eating. So I just try my best to eat healthy, you know, and I still incorporate all my old workouts that I've done before. Like in my early 20s, I used to just work out all the time. Surf, workout. Now I'm at a place where I'm a mom now. Wherever I can find time to surf or work out, or, you know, I like to do tennis. I like to hike. I like to add other things to, you know, stay active and not go through like a dry spell of like, oh, I don't want to work out anymore. It's more of just being creative at this point. Like, how can I be active?
Yoga.
I'm down for it. You know, anything. Boxing. Getting back into boxing. If my husband can hold mitts for me, like that's a treat. So honestly, it's just more of like, I think when it comes to this age and working out, it's really like creating that space to do it. I think that's the hardest part about where we're at in this age and this life, especially if you're a mom, is like you got kids, your husband, you got life. It's more of like putting that time for yourself. You have to be a little selfish. So I think that's the most important thing, is like willing to tell your family, hey, can I just have like 2 hours? Yeah. And then after that, it's just, for me, it's eating healthy, giving myself time, and, you know, like again, trying anything, like yoga, boxing, tennis, whatever.
Yeah, because I remember, you know, growing up on the West Side, you don't have a whole lot of options. You know what I mean? Like, so I remember in my youth, I was like McDonald's chicken nuggets and Jack in the Box.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, you too. Yeah,
Yeah.
So I mean, like now that you have the, you know, the ability to down to earth it, you know, Whole Foods it. Do you guys make better choices when it comes to nutrition?
Oh, 100%. Especially now. I'm not gonna lie. From my teen years all the way to like maybe 24, I was terrible. I did not like salads. I didn't like fish. I was everything opposite of what I am, like what I would eat now. I would eat McDonald's and pizza and Jack in the Box. I was so bad. But you know, the cool thing about being a professional surfer and just, you know, you come across other people that are on the same level as you, you start to learn, you know, there's other ways to get nutrition and be strong. And that's the cool thing about that surfing community, was people are willing to share. You know, like, I love McDonald's too, but you probably shouldn't eat that every day. But there is alternatives that are just as good. And that's where I learned, like, oh yeah, I can cook this at home. I don't need to eat out all the time. So as I got to meet other people, I've learned that, you know, there's other ways to eat, like salmon. You don't just have to eat it straight up. You can cook it, whatever. So yeah.
Awesome. So nutrition's something that you guys definitely take seriously now. So, you know, I want to talk about something that I admire about you. It's about you openly talking about being a mom and being a mom to Rush. How has that experience enriched you?
Honestly, like Max mentioned before, I had no experience of being a mom. I don't have a child of my own yet. But two things. I was fortunate to have both mom and dad in my life. And I had an older sister, who's also very, nurturing. So it's not like I was raised in a household where I didn't know how to, be all these things. I had great examples. But second, when you meet Rush, you've met Rush.
Yeah.
He's so charming. He made it easy.
Yeah.
He made it easy to be his mom. Like, it was hard not to love him. Super charming. That's all I gotta say. He's really cute, but he's a good kid. Such a great kid. And he has all the good parts that Max doesn't. Just joking. But no, he's a sweet kid. And it makes it hard not to show him love and be the person that he needs.
Definitely the lover, not the fighter.
Oh yeah, no, Rush is a lover for sure. He'll tell you right now, I'm not a fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so crazy. How the generations come and go. So let's talk about Max and how you met him.
It's funny. He would say differently, but I lived in Hawaii, born and raised here, all the way to the age of 18. As soon as I was 18, I actually moved. Like for my surfing career, I had to travel a lot. And flying from Hawaii to anywhere internationally was really hard. So I moved to California because LAX is the home base to go anywhere.
Yeah.
So I actually moved to California as soon as I was 18. I was there for 8 years. So I didn't really know much about Max at the time. Like I knew that we went to the same school, we had mutual friends, and he was a fighter. That's kind of all I knew. And I stopped watching UFC since I think Chuck Liddell retired, and I was like, okay, I'm done. I don't watch no more.
Tito Ortiz.
Yeah, me and my dad used to watch all that stuff, and then. You're in that sports community at home, like Hawaii, you represent. So I would hear him here and there, and I think the same. We have our moms are, my mom and his mom have mutual friends that talk. You talk amongst each other.
Yeah.
But I was deciding to come home after 8 years. I was like, California's just not it.
Yeah.
Like it's just not it. And he would actually be like talking to me here and there. Like we have mutual friends again, and he was very supportive. Like. Oh, that's sick. Oh, competing, cool, whatever. But
wait a minute. How in DMs?
He's a be in the DMs for sure.
The only way that people talk to people nowadays.
True.
No, yeah.
True. Okay.
But you can tell there's a little flirtiness there, and at the time I just wasn't. I'm like focused, got stuff going on, so I was like, oh, okay, cool. But as I was coming home, he was such a nice person. I was like, oh, I know he's somebody that's gonna steer me in the right direction for finding like a gym to work out and just another face in that community that one thing that's cool about Hawaiian athletes, like we level each other up.
Yeah.
So why not but yeah, so I reached out to him. I was like, hey, I need to find a gym. He works out Tactical. Darren Yap, he's awesome. He's a hard ass though.
Yeah.
But he sent me that direction. He's like, hey, like we should hang out. And I already knew where this was going. I was like, damn, I think I fell for the trap.
Whoa.
Like I think he was doing this for 5 years now. Like he would come to my birthdays.
Persistent.
Oh, he would tell you what's the saying, love?
Huh?
What?
Consistency.
No, he's like, I'm just.
Consistency, bro. That's all you had to do.
And he says, I'm planting the seed.
So you can ask one of my friends, Michael Nakagawa, Brandon Martin, our friends that know each other. But I'd always be like, oh, read to her on top of one of her stories. You know what I mean? And she leave me on red. I was like, bro. She left me on red. That means she saw him.
He was very persistent.
Not even read them. Would have given me no hope. Like, man, she not into it.
Again, I respected Max though. I know he was a great athlete from what I've heard. Again, I never watched UFC, nothing.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was a big deal till I got home. And then he's like, everybody's like, yeah, Max, how's it going? Can I get a picture? Blah, blah. I'm like, oh, shoot. I didn't say anything to him. I was like, oh, this guy must be, a big deal. So I had one of my friends be like, they were like, oh, you're hanging out with Max. Do you not know? He's like a big deal here. And I was like, oh, really? He's like, he's about to fight too. And I was like, oh, cool. I was like, all right, I'll do my research. I was like, oh, dang, I didn't know.
Yeah.
But I didn't see that. Like, I just thought he was a really nice guy. And again, very persistent. Yeah, which was like, I give him that. Like, he wasn't like creepy or anything, but I was like, man, this guy he's all on the gas right now. Okay.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's kind of cool because it kind of shows that, it's not the fame or the status that you were after. And there's something more about Max. What's the most attractive part about Max Holloway?
The most attractive part. Actually, one thing I do admire about Max, not just as a wife, but just from another athlete, I really value and respect the way he is as a competitive elite athlete. Like I always tell him, like, I wish I knew you like way earlier. Like his mindset, the way he looks at things, and just from a competitive standpoint, he has such a strong mind. Like that's so rare in any professional sport. I think there's a fine line between like a really good athlete and an elite athlete.
Yes.
Like world champion. And there's a reason why he was a world champion. Like I could just see like how confident he is and just how strict and disciplined. Like especially in his sport, he's definitely one of those guys that I say like, this is the guy. If you want a leading example, he's that example. And I think he carries that out even outside of certain aspects in life that I didn't. And he really opened up a place in my head where I think I lacked confidence. And he was like, no, you got to believe in yourself. Like if everybody's out, he has a saying, he goes like, if there's people out there already not believing you, why are you going to be one of those people? And I was like, dang, yeah, it's just that simple. And he simplifies it a lot. Like he always says it's just that simple. Yeah, so that's something I respect a lot about him.
Wow. I see. So like when we talk about couples that really balance each other, I feel like when people see you on the appearance wise, power couple, beautiful woman, when people think of a Hawaiian model, I would feel like your face would pop up. When somebody thinks of a Hawaiian hammer, his face would pop up, and then you guys just create this wonderful union together. So tell me this, how did Max propose to you?
Oh my gosh. The way he proposed to me, it's so funny and silly at the same time.
That's Max.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I love it.
So we're probably 8 months in our relationship. 8 months in our relationship.
Nice.
Yeah.
Get away, bro.
But
Like I said, bro, I had to bamboozle her.
but if you don't know, me and Max were very competitive and super competitive to like one another. Like we will compete against each other, and none of us want to lose to each other. So I don't know what we were doing at this time. We're playing. It's a slap game, where you like you put your hand out, and if you miss, like you get a slap or something. Or no, it was junk in a pole, and whoever lost had to get a slap on their hand. And I was like, yeah, that's it. That's just the kind of stuff we were doing. So we're playing junk in a pole. I lost. And he's like, oh, you got to give me your hand. And I was like, and he does not, like, again, he's just because I'm a girl, I am tough. But he really uses it like, oh, you're tough. I'm not going to go easy on you.
Yeah.
So I'm like, already, like, I lost a couple times. My hand's red. I was like, whatever. Here's my hand. He grabs my hand. And then all of a sudden, he's like, gets down on one knee. And I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And then he just proposes just like that. Like he didn't tell anyone, but mind you, like he just grabbed my hand. Luckily, one of our really good friends was already like, had his phone, saw the moment, was like, okay, I gotta get this. I'm pretty sure he actually let him know ahead of time. But I had
like 2 minutes before I did.
2 minutes.
2 minutes. There you go.
Yo, grab your phone. Just be ready. Just record. Just record.
So he gets down on one knee. He's like, will you marry me? And I'm like, and and that's what I liked about it. It was simple. Like we've been through so many trials in our lives, like the whole go to the beach, all that stuff. Like, at our point in our lives, it's just like, we want simplicity. We already have too much loud stuff going on. So that's one thing I loved about it, was in our home. After playing a silly game, he drops down on one knee and I'm just like, oh, wow.
Dang.
Yeah.
Dang. Well, only Max can do it like that. Let's talk real quick. There's a couple more questions I do want to ask you. How do you support Max when he's going through a grueling training camp like the one he's about to go into this week?
Yeah.
How do you support him?
When Max is in fight camp, he's like a whole different person. Understandable. Like this is like, it's war, It's like he needs to put on that. He's putting on his gear. He's putting on the armor. It's time to go to work. And the best thing I want to do for him is just, one is his eating. I make sure that he has all his meals and it's healthy. And, whenever he eating, doing his laundry, he trains like 3 times a day.
Yeah.
So I'm going through so much laundry. And then on top of that, rushes. But the most important part, especially in camp, even when he's just outside and, you have to maintain, it's just making it easier just to carry out whatever he needs to do. Like, I don't want him to worry, especially in camp, I don't want him to worry about what he's going to eat or where he needs to be. Like, if it's like even like business stuff, like reminders, I just want to be all the little inconvenient stuff that can really like get in the way. I just want to make sure he doesn't have to deal with it. Because as an athlete, there are so many things that you have to juggle, especially if you're a parent. And if I can do whatever to take off that load from both ends, I'll gladly do it, especially in camp.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is Rush like pretty on board as well? When
Rush knows the drill. He's known it since he's been going to his dad's fights. Like Rush understands it more than anyone. He's like, oh yeah, Dad's it's go time.
he must be so proud.
No, Rush is he's a great kid. Like, he's so intuitive and
Beyond his years, huh?
a lot of people would say that he's like an old soul. Yeah. And he actually has a lot of emotional awareness. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Something that his dad doesn't have.
Well, you teach dad, huh?
Yeah.
You get two of you.
Yeah,
in a corner. So tell me this: I've seen you attend fights. How hard is it to watch Max fight?
Oh man, watching Max step, like his walkout, it's like the coolest thing.
Yeah.
It's like the adrenaline pumps in. Like, you're getting pumped with him. Like, again, like fight week, the whole family comes. Like, it feels like everybody's at war. Like it's go time.
Yeah.
But that moment his song plays and he's walking out, it's like, again, it's like, imagine just like your warriors and you got your sword out in your armor. You're just like holding it there. Like, you're, like you want to be part of that. Like, you're just representing. But as soon as he goes into the octagon, I'm just like, damn. It's hard. Even to this day, I still don't know how to. There's certain ones where I'm just like, I can't watch. But then I'm also competitive and I don't want to take my eyes off. So I just try to be, calm. I have great supporters, a great support system. I have friends and family that sit with me. They're a huge help. But I don't know, even to this day, I still am trying to find the right comfort in watching him go. But at the same time, it's just one of those things,
Were you at the Gaethje fight?
I was, yes, definitely. That was crazy. That was amazing.
Gosh. Explain to me the feeling in that last second when Max knocked him out.
The whole 5 rounds, he was doing amazing.
He was.
Like, he was leading it. Getting that, even the first, was it first or second? I forget. It was the first round. He broke his nose. We're like, oh man, like, this is like, he's on a roll. Like, he's just building the house now. Then it comes to the last 10 seconds.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was going to point to the ground.
Yeah.
But that's Max.
Yeah.
But I just remember sitting there with, it was me and his manager. We're like, oh my God, he's pointing to the ground. In fighting, anything can happen.
Yeah.
Anything. You could be winning the whole 5 rounds, the last second get knocked out. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But, at the same time, like, you don't want to, there's no doubt. You're just like, wow, he's going to do this. It was the most intense, craziest thing I've ever experienced. Those 10 seconds was like, wow, it's about to get, like, crazy. It was the most, like, the whole crowd. I just remember everybody just being, like, quiet, but, like, you could hear, like, the screams. Like, the energy is just wild. But for that last 10 seconds, it was probably one of the coolest experiences I've ever experienced in my life.
There was probably an earthquake at that
It
at that
was
moment.
crazy.
Because the whole world was roaring.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
And it's funny, there was 2 fights after that.
Yeah. Oh, I felt bad for
Yeah.
myself. Nobody remembers it.
No. Yeah. Like,
The fight right after was so competitive and so good.
Oh, was it?
Chinese girls.
Though
Yeah.
they were amazing.
People just tired. I felt so bad.
Oh.
Such a good fight.
Oh, he took the adrenaline out of the room. I think everybody was just like sunk into their chair after, like, what did we just watch?
Would you say that as a surfer, and you say that you chase the adrenaline, that this kind of substitutes for that a little bit in your life? You're still getting your fix of
Oh,
adrenaline
yeah.
through
Oh, for sure.
Max's.
Definitely, yeah.
Oh.
Like, even, the adrenaline, when those kind of fights happen, or any moment, they're definitely there. But the energy just wipes out. Like, I remember just being so tired after that. It was crazy.
Well, I remember the feeling as well. So, I do want to ask you a couple more questions. It appears that Max is a really good father to Rush, and you're a great mother as well. But how is he as a husband to you?
Look at his face.
Look at his face. He's smiling now.
No, honestly, Max is a great person.
Yeah.
In and out, like, I feel whoever he comes across, you get good, he has a good feeling. He's a good person. As a husband, he's actually amazing. I don't credit him enough as I should. I don't know if that's just because I want to keep him on his toes. But he's a great guy. And I know if I needed anything or if something was really down or I just, he knows when I'm not feeling right too. Like I'll just be like quiet. He'd be like, why are you quiet? What's up? And he'll poke. He's not one of those guys where he's like, oh, whatever then. No, he'll like poke to the time where it gets irritating. And I have a hard time opening up sometimes. But he knows how to really get me to open up. And in the ways that I normally wouldn't to anybody. He has a good read on me. Like, it's funny, like, I always tell him, like, sometimes he doesn't read the room, but with me, he does get me, like, right on the dot. It's kind of annoying. But I like that he's my person. Like, I can really go to him for anything. And he, again, we're competitive, but he brings the best side out of me. And he reminds me that, that I'm not, there's times where I get low, and he's like, no, like, man up. Like, what? No. Like, he'll make, and he doesn't do it in a way where it's like, I'm not an ooey gooey person. And sometimes I don't like that. And when he gives me what I like, he's like, okay, then you don't want that, then I'm going to, we're going to tough up. Like, I need that pick me up. I like that he's that person for me. And he's a good guy.
Wow. Well, I think that, from the outside, I really admire the relationship that you and Max have. You're both amazing athletes and humans that seem to be living your purpose. I feel like you don't feel like you're in the shadow of Max's identity. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think that you have your own, and you own your own personality, persona, and you glow in your own separate way, but together you come together beautifully. I think you both do a great job at representing the spirit of Hawaii to the world, and I'm absolutely honored that you've spent some time with us. I know Max has to get out of here shortly. I do want to give Kenji an opportunity to ask a question to you that he might have. Take it away.
Sure. So, Alessa, as both of you stated, right, kind of the emotional anchor in the relationship, what do you guys, as one of the more visible, you could say, couples in Hawaii, what do you think is missing in relationships for couples in Hawaii?
That's a really great question. And in my opinion, again, there's many different ways to love a person, many different versions of love. I think, especially in this generation, one of the things that is missing in Hawaii, or even pretty much anywhere, and it's very simple, it's just genuine connection. It's just getting back to, like, again, it's just simplifying it to where there's so much loud noise out there with Instagram, X, whatever you want to call it, Snapchat. There's a bunch of distractions, a lot of misleading information on people. I think one thing that, it's this generation, and even, whatever, if you're a person that's trying to find love, it's just not being afraid just to be yourself. I know it sounds pretty cliche, but it's that simple. And just being genuine about what you want from a person, and, and not expecting so much. Like, there's levels to being in a relationship, like, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, mom and dad, all of that. But if you don't have the main foundation, which is just genuine connection, it's not going to work. And I see a lot of relationships, they start in lies. If you're starting a relationship on a foundation of lies, that foundation's not going to hold you guys for a while. So it's more of just find someone that you can genuinely connect with. You have the same core values, and then you go from there. And, I think the problem too is that people are trying to rush to something, like get married, have a house and kid. I'm like, yeah, that's there, but don't rush into it if you don't have all these steps before. If you ain't financially ready, if you're not emotionally ready, if you're not emotionally available, if you're in a relationship and you see someone else, that's another one. Just leave. Like, I don't get that. Yeah. No, there's times where I'm just like, love is love. And you know what? You can't, if you see something and you're like, wow, and you really connect with the person, I get it. Yeah. But if you commit to someone else, figure that out first. I see a lot of that. Okay. And let's be real, we're adults here. Yeah. Like, we're not kids. Yeah. The worst thing I see too is relationships that start early. You go through, like, the big steps too fast. That's where you lead to being a single parent. And then you're being alone because you did all these big things, these big commitments with people that probably didn't have the same values you did at the time. And then you're stuck at square one.
She's talking to my soul right now. I just talked before.
No, I think that's one of the, everywhere. I think it's like, you know, how they say COVID was the biggest, what's that word? What was COVID? Oh, the term.
Hookup season.
No, it was COVID.
It was the biggest, what I was going to say, COVID was the biggest time where you found out if you was meant to be in a relationship
Or,
because you was forced time.
Pandemic, right?
Oh, pandemic.
Yeah,
okay.
COVID was a big pandemic. But you know what was another one? And I'm not judging anyone, but another one is just a lot of kids growing up in a single home. And, you know, broken families are hard to avoid. Like, we all come from them. We all have friends. But if there's a way to, like, you know, prevent that, like, it's hard seeing a single child grow up, especially if the household's toxic, the relationship's toxic. That's where you're creating generational curse. And then that child learns the same thing. And then it's just a toxic cycle. So it's more of just, all you really had to do, again, going back to simplifying it, create a genuine connection, really get to know the person, really take your time. And if you do find the one and it hits the boxes that quick, okay, yeah, snag it.
Yeah.
But give yourself time. Give yourself time to learn a person. Maybe you're not in a good place to even be in a relationship. Let's think about that first too. So yeah, genuine connection and just having the same core values, I think, is super important that, you know, a lot of people don't take into, you know, account when looking into a relationship or being in a relationship.
Quick follow-up, because everything you're saying is landing, right?
Yeah.
The hard part, I think, is for participating in this presentation that is social media.
Right.
With being true, right?
Yes.
Especially if you're not the one with the camera and editing and all that, especially if there's money tied to it. There's other motives and, you know, intentions tied to an image that someone might access.
Yes.
So they might perceive something as true and genuine,
right,
when in actuality it's not. So how do you participate in this sort of representation of yourself while maintaining that genuine, you know, like you said, connection?
You know what's crazy about that? You just hit, like, we're in a time, and that's crazy. Technology, just the way the world's moving. Everyone's moving fast. There's kids that have social media. You're like, whoa. Yeah. But we're all in a phase right now where we're all trying to learn how to cope with being a person and then being this whole other person on social media. Like, we're literally in that movement and trying to figure that out. Think about it. Like,
yeah,
I think I'm born 1994. I'm probably one of the last generations, and the ones before that, where we played outside or we didn't have a life where we're on social media. That no longer exists. That's like extinct. Now we're in a place where we're all trying to figure it out. How do we move this way while things evolve, but at the same time not lose the core value? And I think, you know, that's one of those things that it depends on what you value as a person. And honestly, it's like, again, if you can create a healthy place, a healthy mindset, knowing, again, it's simple. Be your genuine self, whatever that is. And whatever you see on social media, again, it's perceived the way that person's going to perceive it. A lot of it's from a job aspect, or I don't know. I'm not going to lie. I think all of us are a bit narcissistic. That's a bit of social media, right? Yeah. But, you know, at the same time, it's understanding and being mature about situations on social media and who you are as a person. Taking what you can, not, you know, getting so involved in something where you feel it's not going to help you. And again, just being genuine, and whatever you see is what you see. And also knowing at the end of the day, like, that might not be what it is. Let's not make a big deal out of it. And if that's what it is, then, you know, you either take it or leave it. But it's more of like, if you can create that separation where, I mean, the best of both worlds, if you can just be genuine on both ends, that's great. But there's, you know, you're going to come across things where it's not like that. And I think the best way for yourself or a person that's trying to navigate through those kind of problems is create something that works for you. And again, keep it genuine, keep it simple. Don't get too many things in your head. Yeah, I think that's all I can say.
No, thank you.
Dang.
Yeah.
What a great way to close this. I do want you to tell the people where they can find you, and actually Max as well.
Yeah.
On social media.
Hey, I'm on Instagram, Alessa Holloway. My husband's on Instagram. X. He's on a bunch of stuff. It's Blessed MMA, Max Holloway. You can find him anywhere. Again, too, I don't got many platforms. I got like 2.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you just have in my name, you'll find me there.
Yeah. It's all good. I just want to say one more time, McKenzie and I are absolutely grateful to have the two of you on. Max, good luck to you. Good luck in your support, and
Thank
good
you
luck
for
in
having
life,
us.
because I just want to see you two blossom even more than you already have. Thank you for being on Taisei Discovers.
Thank you so much for watching this interview. If anything in this video made you feel something, please share this video with someone you think would feel the same way. This channel is a product of 2 brothers born and raised in Hawaii, using our skills, our story, and our growing network to unleash our creativity. For us, being creative isn't optional. It's a duty. We've got some incredible interviews and creative projects coming up, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Thank you so much for your support. It means the world to us. Hope to see you in the next one.